Welcome to the exciting world of the movies.
Enjoy the show!
Hello and welcome to the Movie Graveyard. We got a doozy for you today, an all-time classic. And since it's a little bit on the long side, we're going to just go ahead and roll into it. Yes, we are proud to present our take on the 1982 Tobey Hooper classic, Poltergeist. So we're rolling off a Blu-ray copy, and we have it paused at the 0-second mark. It's just literally a black screen. So I'm going to give the instructions of 1, 2, 3, go. And when I say go, you guys will go ahead and hit play on your DVD remote or your PlayStation remote, whatever you're rolling on, or maybe your streaming remote. Who knows where you're watching this at. So everybody, are you ready? Remote in hand. 1, 2, 3, go. And we are rolling. And I gotta say, I'm very, very, very happy that this movie starts with just the straight up MGM logo of the time. I hate a lot of this. I don't know all the rights issues of when it comes out from where, but if you like get the MGM Blu-rays that like come out from like other companies, like they always have the new updated. Like at some point, somebody went in and CGI'd in MGM.com onto the opening logo, and it's horrible. It's like a little floating MGM.com. It sucks.
I never noticed that.
Yeah. I mean, even like on the streaming, like I was watching Get Shorty the other night, and I had to see the floating MGM.com,
wow.
which guaranteed was not on there on the 1995 like movie print or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this movie opens up like really bizarre. Like, I kind of think that there's no way they could get away with now of just showing like 3 minutes of this blurry ass zoomed in TV screen. And what's funny is now, like, this was like an effect that was used a lot, like the computer monitor zoomed in, like camera, like you can tell they did it for real because like it looks like the true ass that a TV screen of 1982 would look at. But now they always do like the CGI effect where they zoom out and then it gets more clear, and it's like, nah, it would always look like shit if you were rolling a straight up movie camera on a TV screen.
You see all the little squares.
Yeah. And like I didn't get a chance to listen to the guy's full essay, but I saw a guy on YouTube did a pretty cool essay about like the genre subversion that this movie does. Like, it starts off in a lot of ways different than like what you expect, and like I think the opening of like the TV, which I think kids nowadays, well, I mean that's for any movie over 5 years old, kids nowadays won't get it, but I actually remember the days when TV stations used to go off the air playing the Star Spangled Banner, and it like somehow it always was that same video. Do you ever remember seeing that?
I never saw that. Like I know about it. Like I've always known about it, but I've never actually saw it myself. I was a good girl. I went to bed when I was supposed to.
I mean, the old days of I love the beginning. It's almost like it's not like like the corny like one shot tracking shot through the house, but you kind of like start out with this mini movie of the family dog like going all throughout the house. I like how the older sister, he pulls out the potato chip bag and just leaves the big trail of potato chips in her bed, so she's gonna roll over.
Well, that's pretty much what they do when they drag the bags and they leave the trail of what they don't want left.
Yeah. He got a few chips to eat out in the hallway, though. Yeah. But yeah, he wakes up Heather Ann. Which, like, this whole... I remember the first time we watched this about a year ago when we were originally going to do this. You were, like, petrified. You were so scared of this movie. You had never seen it.
Yeah, like, for as much... Like, this is obviously, like, a famous pop culture, like, kind of movie. And, like, I had never seen it because, like, it, like, just going from, like, the commercials or any clips I ever saw when I was younger, like, it looked scary as fuck. Like, I just, like, I was always, like, I really was petrified of it. And then especially her one line that she says, it's, like, that was always kind of, like, oh, like, it was just, like, the ultimate scary. So, like, I kind of, like, not that I was ever, like, well, I guess probably subconsciously, I was like, I don't want to watch it because it's too scary. Yeah. And, like, it just totally ended up being, like, completely different from what I expected. It was pretty funny.
But I remember that shot where she's walking down the stairs. I remember you being, like, petrified, like, oh, God, poor baby. Because she's so little and, like...
Because she's so cute and, like, she has, like, this angelic face, you know, and, like...
Yeah.
And, I mean, isn't this one of the ones that has, like, the kind of weird cursed stories or whatever of of the little girl? Like,
yeah.
So that's why, too, like, I knew about that, and, like, it just, I don't know. It just seems so creepy. It still does seem creepy.
Yeah, this movie, because it deals with, like, not just, like, ghosts, but also, like, going into, you know, dead zone dimensions and shit like that. Like, it does have a...
Like, look at her face. Oh, my God. Like...
I know. It does have, like, a whole creepy feeling to it.
Yeah.
To me, like, this is the thing that, like, creeps me out the most, is, like, like on the soundtrack is kind of, like, the main theme here by, I think it's by Jerry Goldsmith. And it almost sounds like a lullaby. Like, the music's, like, really haunting. And like, I just, you know, like, I can't help when we talk about these movies to compare them and kind of shit on the modern movies that come out. But it's like...
you can't help it.
Yeah, you can't help it because it's like...
They're obviously different.
And you know I complain about this all the time, but I mean, all movies in general, but especially horror movies now, I hate how one note they are. Yeah. And it's like opening title... It's just like gray atmosphere, cinematography. Yeah. First 30 seconds, you gotta watch somebody's head get bashed, and it's like, oh wait, I was so concerned when I walked in this movie theater. Like, was it a horror movie? I'm not sure. Oh wait, yeah, it is a horror movie. Yeah, honey, we walked in the right theater. Like, yeah, it's the horror movie. I hear the horror movie sound and all that. And like this movie, even though it starts out with, like, you know, even, like, that creepy scene of, like, it's not too creepy, but it's weird of, like, when she's talking to the TV and it's just, like, the fuzz and snow. Like, it opens with this sense of normalcy, like, this American family, and, like...
Up to that point, when she's, like, sitting there and all that flashing's happening.
Yeah. But it's, like, you know, the idea that Steven Spielberg had when he wanted to make this movie, I heard him talking about, he grew up in Arizona and, like, track housing or whatever, and, like, it's the opposite of what people do now. It's like, it's not the obvious. It's like back then, like especially all ghost movies took place in an old, drafty, scary, cobwebby, haunted house. And he's saying, like, it can happen anywhere, you know what I mean? And, like, I think that was always, like, a layer of, like, scariness, you know, like, when I seen this movie, like, I have pretty vivid memories.
Wow.
Of going to see this movie. Yeah, we gotta talk about this guy. Like, I never understood why he's, like, on a kid's BMX bike. This, like, 45-year-old guy with, like, a case of beer. Like, on the old school case of beer where it's, like, it's just all loose on, like, a little cardboard thing that they give you.
Yeah.
And, like, he starts out with, like, he looks like he has, like, he has different six-packs put together, but it looks like he has about 24 beers there, and he's dropping them as he goes. The kids messed him up with the remote control car, so, like, he crashed on the little bike. Which, like... Even,
oh my
like,
God, he's going through this whole house just spraying it.
Yeah, because they all cracked open the beers, and like not only that, but like not only the beer spraying, but like he lost like 3/4 of the beer. So like, you know, them kids with those remote control cars are picking up all the beers and drinking them now outside.
But yeah, the way this one opens, like, there goes the Star Wars reference.
Yeah, tons of stars. This being a Steven Spielberg production, and him being great friends with George Lucas. But at the same time, like, the amount of Star Wars, like, memorabilia that's in the kid's bedroom, it's kind of accurate for that time, because every young boy, like, had all Star Wars shit. I mean, I had the Star Wars drapes, Star Wars bedding, Yoda, Yoda sleeping bag that I used as, like, a comforter.
There goes to the reference R.I.P. Jeffrey the Giraffe from Toys R Us.
Yeah, there's Jeffrey Giraffe blanket in the background. But it just starts out, like, super normal. It's, like, all about suburbia.
Yeah, I like the way it starts off. Like, it's one thing that's missing from movies now, too, is, like, just the bright picture landscapes and all that. Like, I just love those visuals. That, like, puts you, too, like, in how you're saying, like, normally it's in a, like, dreary kind of old battered neighborhood, whereas this is just like it's sunny and like it's a colorful nice day and like just totally not the kind of setting you would expect that something frightening is about to happen.
Exactly. And it has a lot of commentary about this, like, you know, this kind of cookie cutter subdivision, like even the marketing materials. Like, I was watching the original trailer and it starts out like the narrator guy, he's like, it looks like the house next to it. And, like, they even talk about, like, you know, and, like the poster, I don't know about all the posters, but So I guess maybe the teaser poster, one of them just was literally more like a kind of like color contrast that messed with picture of like the subdivision, all the houses, you know. Here we get kind of like the first like
oh my gosh,
death metaphor with the kid's bird dying, and she's about to flush it, and the little girl.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Which I don't even know if even a small bird like that, like a goldfish, sure, but a bird, I don't know if it would flush
I know. I was
down
gonna
the
say,
toilet.
are you supposed to do that?
Yeah.
There's the tree of death.
Yeah. Obviously, like,
and he's anxious to climb it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because like the little boy is like, always scared of the tree. Like he gets bad vibes from it, and like the dad is like, "Oh, we built a house here, you know, because that tree is old and pretty." But it's like I mean, obviously it's a fake tree, like, but like it looks so dead. There's no brain. Like the main limbs are like sawed off of it and shit. Like, why would you keep a giant like 20-foot stump in your backyard?
Tweety.
Yeah, Tweety bird. I thought this was sweet here, how, like, it's just, again, the young actress, Heather O'Rourke, like, this is...
Hey, my mom had that cookbook, that red checkered Better Homes one.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
It's legit.
Yeah.
But most of the house scenes, they set on a soundstage, for obvious reasons, because there's a lot of special effects and stuff. But this one, I think this kitchen scene might have been filmed actually in the house because you can see the other houses through the windows.
Yeah.
But yeah, she gives him the picture of like the kid saying for when he gets lonely. She gives him the half-eaten licorice for when he gets hungry. And then yeah, it just, you know, that's like her sweetest moment in the movie. I always really identified with like
oh my gosh.
the little boy in this movie too because he was like really my age when I saw it. I remember seeing it. I remember oddly too, like, because this being part of like, you know, the big like.
I think so. This was legit for you.
Yeah.
You were seeing it the way like the kids were seeing it.
Yeah. Like it was pretty cool because like I remember too. This was like a big summer movie. Like it came out a couple days after my birthday.
That doggy's like, dinner.
Yeah, and like the dog immediately starts trying to dig up the dead bird. And then this is Dominique Dunn is the older sister Dana, who I really like in this movie. And but like compared to like how I remembered it when I was a kid, like she's barely in the movie. Like she's like away, like, you know, going out with boys or whatever most of the movie.
There goes the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's already moved on to her next pet.
She's from super sad to like, yeah.
It's funny. And the little boy wants to dig him up after he's all dried out.
Yeah.
Dang, she already got her fish.
Yeah, the same day, I guess. I mean, if we're assuming this is just later that night. But it's kind of cool, though. Like when
Captain America.
Yeah, Captain America comic. And it's funny, too, how comics, like, even in the 80s, like, they look super old. Like, they look like they were from, like, the 50s and shit. Yeah. I remember the ones I bought looked just like that. Probably because you have all these old-ass men making them still.
Yeah, well, if you were their age when you saw it, yours were going to look like theirs.
I don't know if it was intentional, but I kind of like how it looks like when the lightning's hitting the light is flashing on the thing. It kind of looks like the tree has a face.
Yeah. Hey, don't you have that?
I have it, but the eyes aren't red. I don't know if that was like a real version or just like a special thing they made. Because it's only like in A New Hope where his eyes are red. You can only see it a few times.
Dang, she's overfeeding the goldfish.
Yeah.
She's been sitting there pouring that in the whole time.
I know. Like that would totally kill them. Like if you fed them that much.
Because when they like blow up, like get like over like.
I had one that did that.
Their food expands or something.
Because I had two fish that in just a little tank just like that, and I didn't realize it for the longest time, but one was just hoarding all the food.
Oh my god!
So he got his body got all of a sudden got swollen up like fat.
Oh wow!
And like there was a few days where we could tell he was going to die, and I was like trying to move him, get him to like exercise, but like he was alive, but he was like just floating towards the top. He wasn't really like diving and swimming around.
They even have an alien poster.
Yeah, thought that was interesting. The alien poster. I kind of don't know why though. I don't know.
You don't get the connection.
Well, yeah, like the Star Wars shit was, you know, because Lucas, And, like, I don't know if Spielberg knew him, the guys who made Alien. I mean, he probably did. But also, it might have been a reference because when Ridley Scott made Alien, he said he wanted to make Texas Chainsaw in space.
Huh.
So
that's funny.
That would be interesting. And, you know, I didn't even catch this till, like, literally right now, but the movie that's playing in the parents' bedroom, this whole movie, it's like a guy not realizing he's dead, talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why I never caught the dialogue there.
Yeah, I noticed it the first time we watched it.
We gotta talk about the parents, Joe Beth Williams, Craig T. Nelson.
He's with the pot.
Yeah. He's trying to roll it. He's got so much weed, like, on the bed sheet that he just, like, leaves there. He wastes so much weed.
That's funny.
And I always got the impression that she was, like, younger than him or whatever.
He just throws it.
Yeah. And it's, like, so 80s that he's reading a book about Ronald Reagan. Like,
the man, the president.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't remember if that was a popular book or not. But I just thought it was funny that they put it in there. Because, like, it seems like everything in this movie is kind of, like, put in for a reason.
She knows how to roll the joint, too.
Yeah, she's doing it, like, perfectly. I think she's, like, the real pot connoisseur in the game. But Craig T, yeah, I believe this is, like... I'm sure he probably did tons of acting before this, but this is, like, the first thing, like, you know, I should say oldest thing I remember him in.
Yeah, like, by the time it was over when we watched it, I was, like, I think I remember coming out of it feeling, like, super depressed for him, because, like... Yeah. He just, like, his performance in this movie is, like, so awesome. Like,
yeah.
I just felt it so much. Like, you could see how stressed the whole situation makes him. And, like, I think in the end, like, I kind of came out, like, exhausted from just seeing him. Because it was like, oh my God. He was, like, his soul was, like, dying, like, going through all that.
And then it's really not even until, like, the very end of the movie he kind of gets, like, the full... breath of like what's happened and why all this shit is happening to his family.
Yeah.
But like you can tell he like feels like, because like he, you know, they live in this subdivision. He's like the main salesman that sold the majority of the houses. He works for the company that like developed the thing.
Yeah.
And when he like realizes, you know, the excuse me, when he realizes like kind of why everything unfolded the way he did, and then like. I know the sequels are fun, you know, just like any movie you like to get a sequel. But it's weird, like, and I like the third movie in the series quite a bit because it's really bizarre. But like,
I have that Clue game. Well, I had it.
Yeah, that's the version of Clue I have too. But I think I got mine like way after because I remember I got Clue late, like probably like the late '80s, early '90s, and it still looked like that.
A Rubik's Cube.
But Craig T's character, like, yeah, like he realizes he, you know, unwillingly, obviously, because you know the company like lied to him, like how they developed the subdivision, or he wasn't there when they actually bought the land or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just a lot of it weighs on him, and just that idea of, you know, the father's supposed to be like the protector of the family or whatnot.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, when it comes to like interdimensional gateways in your closet and shit, like I don't care who you are, you know, could be the best dad in the world, you can't, you know, protect anybody from that shit.
Yeah. There was R2.
Yep. And like I totally forgot that like that little Yoda puppet that he has over there. I totally forgot what's gone now was earlier. Like the action figures like move around, like not in a bad continuity way, but just over time, like they change position, like the boy's been playing with them. I thought that was a cool touch.
I think he has a speaking. What is it? Was it speaking spell or whatever?
Speaking spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those.
I saw that on the background.
Hey, dude, or something like it. Or one of those. Like that was the most futuristic thing I remember when I was a little kid. A speaking spell, it's something you could press and it would like talk. You know.
All I can think of now when I see one of those is that freaking Dane Cook skit he did about it.
Oh yeah.
About it being like possessed or whatever.
Because it kind of did have a scary robot voice.
Yeah.
And obviously the little boy. And like
out. Coincidental. And by the way, did they just have their door wide ass open when they were rolling up their butt?
But not only that, but like smoking it. I mean, I guess these little kids you could bullshit, but like the 16-year-old daughter, she's gonna smell that shit and know what's going on. See, like all this is obviously a set because like this house is so detailed. Like I don't even know when you see like the exteriors if like it would be able to fit all these rooms in there. You know what I mean?
know. Maybe those houses were made like that back then.
Yeah. It's got a fancy ass staircase that goes up, kind of like an almost winding staircase.
Yeah, it does. It is pretty grand.
Because obviously our pain is that, you know, where we live, there's no good houses at all. And it's like so hard to like see a movie like from 1982 with a house in it that's like better than anything we could find now.
There, he's explaining the tree to him, saying that it's gonna protect them.
Yeah.
It looks at me. It knows I live here.
Yeah. And like, you know, just like I said, like this movie not jumping straight into horror, fleshing out the characters, being realistic, being true. Like the moment he has with the little boy here, when he talks about how you know count the thunder and tell like if the storm's going away or whatever. It's just good shit and like.
It's just like normal fears that a kid would have. Like, I mean, obviously, you know, going into it, something creepy is gonna happen. But like at first, it just starts off with just like kids having normal fears.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a thunderstorm's scary.
And it also kind of sets up too. It's kind of good, like storytelling, like that. You know that this entity is going to take these things, especially more with the son. He's going to take he's going to take these things and use it against the kid because he knows the fears. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've got a Super Bowl poster.
Yeah, I always thought that Super Bowl poster was funny because
Rookie of the year.
it's like I think it says 1988 Super Bowl on it, and this movie like came out in like 82. So I was like, yeah, it has Super Bowl whatever's XX one. So I mean, I know they announced the Super Bowl years in advance, but like, damn, were they really announcing it like 6 years in advance? Like, I just don't get it. It's weird.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, and the little moment where he busts the daughter for still being awake, talking on the phone. I like how she covers the phone too. Like what? Like he doesn't know that she has a phone in her room.
And the cord, you can see it going up to the bed. Oh my gosh, she's so creepy looking, man. Like, like I don't know.
Yeah, she always like. Like, the little boy just always looks scared.
Yeah.
But she always looks...
But he looks normal. She has got to... Oh, now they're all together.
She looks like one of the Village of the Damn Kids.
Yeah.
I love the sky shots in this movie where they do the optical effects of, like, the storms coming and, like, how foreboding it looks. Like, I miss, like, actual optical effects. They always... Like, backgrounds and stuff. Like, they always, like... I don't know. They always look so surreal and, like, really pretty to look at.
It's funny how she has her hand on her mom's face.
Yeah, but she's still sleeping. And this is the big...
So is it still playing? I thought they started playing the movie again.
No, it's the thing is the what do you call it, the closing. Shit, I'm blanking like the end of the broadcast day. Yeah, it's just playing the Star Spangled Banner.
I thought the movie came back on.
No. You thought it was the first scene replay?
Yeah.
No, it's just...
I was like, oh, the thing's taking over already.
No, yeah. It's just like the first time was like the first time she made contact with them.
Yeah.
And now this is the time like when they're coming out of the TV.
Oh, did you see the Abraham Lincoln eyes?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is like creeping me out even though I've already seen it.
I know.
It's like kind of scarier without the sound.
Now this is the only special effect in the movie I don't like is when they come out of the TV. It's like literally a straight up like cartoon cloud that comes out or lightning that comes out. She's happy. She's drawn to the flashing.
What is that silver thing that's like moving on the top of the TV? I just noticed that.
Yeah, it's just like a dodo.
Oh
like
gosh, this
like
is like freaking my eyes out.
Yeah, it's just like one of them dodo things that like I don't know what you call it, but it's like just one of those things that like goes up and down, up and down, like just an ornament decoration.
Yeah.
Just slowly going up and down, and then like just the attention to detail. Like there's by the door, there's a bunch of carpet samples, which like probably Craig T uses for his job for selling the houses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're in a rave right now.
It's just like messing my eyes up.
Yeah. Which, like, the TV, like, when there's static on, like, it doesn't, like, make a strobe light effect, really. Yeah, like first it comes out like a hand, then it swirls around. It really looks like some shit you would see in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
We have our guest star cat getting freaked
that's
out.
why I was just like, just leave the door open, because if not, he's going to come in the door and just scream the whole time.
Oh.
But yeah. And one thing I thought was interesting, because like when they come out,
oh my gosh,
and they hit the wall there, like not right now, but later, there's like a burn mark on the wall, and like nobody ever like notices it or points it out. I thought that was weird. But yeah, they come out and
they're here.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then we go straight back into the daylight of the the everyday suburban. They're digging the pool and stuff. Oh, Tweety got dug up already. So much grave desecration going on, I should say. Yeah, like they think there was a earthquake. There's not. I love the detail of Craig T tying. He's talking on the phone. He's tying his tie, and he's actually tying it like around the phone cord. He gets stuck.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I'll show you in a second when he goes to try to hang up the phone. This is a great scene. This is like the first scene of like really like the ghostly shit happening. Like the kid picks up the milk glass and
you got him right in the face,
and it like pops and breaks
10 times.
I have to say this mom's really over serving these kids breakfast. The kids have cereal, the daughter has a cantaloupe.
Oh yeah.
And then she's like giving them like giant homemade waffles on top of it. Like, how much could these kids possibly eat? Plus giant glasses of milk.
It's fuel for them to just throw at each other.
Yeah, I know.
The little boy has a cantaloupe too.
Yeah. Everybody's just throwing shit everywhere. I guess that's the parents' food on the other side though.
Oh, I guess.
Because when you're a kid, you can barely eat maybe 3 or 4 bites.
So here she's explaining that it's the TV people.
Yeah, the people on the TV. Watch this milk glass. Whoa!
How'd they do that? Had to have been broken already, huh?
Yeah, like it had to be some kind of like pop thing.
He was like, ah!
I know. He knew. Like, I was wondering if it would be like a little charge, like a blow up charge, but
yeah.
I don't think they would put that in a kid's hand.
Yeah. Or would they have then?
Yeah.
Maybe back then they might have.
I like just seeing the workmen in the back of the yard just smoking a cigarette sitting there.
It's not my fault.
And I was always so curious, like what
she's going back to the TV.
Yeah, what movie Jean Shalit was reviewing there before she turned on the fuzz. It's funny how she gets like 2 inches away from it. And this is where the little boy also notices that the silverware is like all been up and shit. He's kind of undersung too. I always feel like his character gets kind of like mocked and made fun of because for being such a scaredy. Which I mean, he's a little kid. Of course, he's gonna be scared.
Yeah.
But I think he does a good job of like selling on the shit. Here we got Sonny Landon of Predator fame, and he always playing the no good for nothing Native American character in all movies. Also played a no good Injun in 48 Hours. But here he is as a sexist. He's like really going overboard, heckling this 16-year-old girl. It's like literally you can see the
mom's laughing.
Yeah, like you can see the mom through like the window, and like they're making all these like sexual, whatever you call it, innuendos and shit towards the daughter. Like, wouldn't these guys get fired off at every job that they do? Yeah, she's like, "Oh, don't look at that static, honey. It'll ruin your eyes." Let me turn. Then she turns on like a war movie where people are just being shot and blown up.
Watch this instead.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. This movie has a real sly sense of humor like that.
Jeez, her shorts are like super short.
Yeah, she's pretty naked, mom. Like later on, where she has like her big horror scene. Like, see the burn mark on the wall? The dog's barking at it, and like nobody's really like.
She's not like, what's that?
Yeah, like when I was watching this last night, I thought she was going to like try to wipe it off the wall.
It's making him do tricks.
Yeah, he's sitting up. I like the dog in this too. He's good.
I was gonna say she's ahead of her time with her butt cheeks hanging out.
I know. Well, this is the original wave. He brings it a toy, the thing in the wall.
She's just watching it.
Yeah, I like this too. The work guy like reaching in, like he's like eating her chili and shit off the spoon, putting his spoon back. And like this comedy
Oh my
bit.
gosh. He's so gross.
Yeah, he looks like a cartoon character.
He did.
You know what he looks like? Is the fucking cartoon characters were like the wolf, like the Tex Avery wolves that are always like, ooh, ooh. They're always like whistling and shit. Here we get like the really big poltergeist activity.
All the chairs are pushed out.
Yeah. Also, oh, that was a creepy moment. That little hand coming up.
It was.
But I say this is like, and also this is a great in-camera effect where the camera's going to like pan away for a second, and then like they're going to come back and all the chairs are going to be on top of the table. Like,
did she just say, "Do you want to see me in a cigar box"?
yeah,
Because she's scared her.
so like, what is this? Like maybe like 10 seconds. Oh.
But it's funny because you could see that plant was like shaking, like as if they were running around trying to put them on.
Yeah. Or it could have been the ghost. The TV people.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
She asked her, do you see them? No.
No.
Do you? That's a great little moment between them two.
It's so subtle.
Yeah.
It's like, are you creeped out? Yeah. Are you creeped out? Yeah.
And I love this dissolve to like, you think it's all of a sudden the kitchen without any furniture in it, but it's like the exact same kitchen.
Just in another house.
Yeah, just another house that Craig T's trying to sell to these people.
Yeah, all the houses.
And I forgot to look this up, but I swear to God, this lady is like Dr. Joyce Brothers. You ever remember that lady? Like the column, what was it, Vice columnist lady?
I don't remember what she looked like.
Yeah, I swear it looks and sounds just like her. Maybe it's not her, but it just reminds me about her so much. But I thought that was like a brilliant like dissolve there.
It's funny to see how like those appliances are supposed to be brand new and they're like so old looking.
I know, like they're clean, but yeah, they look ancient. Those 1982 appliances look like 1962 appliances.
And the green fridge.
Yeah. I like just this weird little detail about how you can do what you want with the building shit. He's talking about his neighbor put a jacuzzi up on the top. See, this is what I mean about the way they do the sky shots.
Yeah.
Like, that's a totally realistic looking effect.
Yeah.
But it's so, like, I don't know, like, powerful and visually striking.
It's like a real sky.
Yeah, and, like, the way they used to, you know, photochemically composite things, rotoscope things back then, like...
Whoa.
I don't know. To me, it's pretty amazing, the technology they had to make movies back then.
Let go of the trash can. Oh.
And you could kind of see it in that scene, the grass, how, like, clumpy looking it was. I was reading because this house was actually built, the house that they used for the exteriors, which is still there, obviously. But the house was so brand new, like the grass hadn't grown in yet. So, like, what they did was they went around the neighborhood and mowed everybody's grass for free so they could get the clippings, and they just spread it all out in the lawn of the house.
That's funny.
So this is, like, the scene that's, like, the scariest part of this movie about me. Like, she's been at home all day with the little girl, like, discovering all the weird shit that the ghosts do in the...
We'll go to Pizza Hut, okay?
Yeah, that they do in the kitchen. And, like, this is the thing that's, like, scary to me is, like, how excited they are. Like, Craig T isn't, like, he gets pretty freaked out because he knows he's seeing something strange. But, like, yeah, they like the way that, like, some people who, like...
She's so happy and amazed with it.
Yeah, like, the way people, like, find it such a novelty at first. And I never understand those people who think they have a ghost in their house, but they're like, oh, it's like a little kid, or, oh, they will never hurt you, or, like...
She's all jumping up.
Yeah.
Bored.
Yeah, the little girl's, like, she knows all the shit that they do. But, it's just scary that, like, they're actually kind of excited about it at first.
Well, it's just the mom.
Yeah, the mom. Because they're kind of keeping it from the kids so far. And then, like, obviously it was a great special effect of the chair going by, but, like, the way they drag the little girl, like, it's so crazy. Like, I don't even know how they do it.
It's just funny how she puts the helmet on.
Yeah, the Rams helmet.
I want pepperoni pizza. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And, like, she was totally, like, sliding into that wall, too, before he grabbed her. Yeah.
That's funny.
And it's kind of interesting too that like she has it marked on the floor from the point where like they'll drag stuff.
Oh, she's done it herself too.
Yeah, she says it feels like a tickling in your stomach. I would be so creeped out even standing in that room.
He's like, "Are you crazy?"
Yeah. And like the earlier scene where they're all trying to watch the football game and the neighbor's remote kept changing theirs. Like,
yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's like commentary of how like everybody's so similar in the suburbs and so on top of each other that
Cookie cutter.
Yeah. This is a funny bit too, where like they go to the neighbor to see if any shit's going on in theirs, and like they kind of like can't get the nerve up to say like what's going on, but like they're getting all slap happy and like with the mosquitoes and shit are biting the shit out of them. And I was like, I thought the mosquitoes were kind of just like not really there until like the next scene, like she's putting the lotion all over his face and shit.
They never really show anything. Oh my gosh, they're just crazy.
Yeah. And like I recognize this guy, the neighbor guy. Like I don't know what his name is, but it's just that thing of like bit casting being perfect because he's like totally almost like a sitcom type character of like the goofy neighbor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of asshole-ish, but loud of a neighbor.
Yeah. How do you bring this up?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Asking if the dishes or furniture are moving around by themselves. Yeah, Craig T, he got all bit up by the mosquitoes.
But just like his face, like I don't know, he's just like there's something about his face that he's just like. I mean, they're not even really like having like when he was at the door and they were asking, "Have you been seeing anything moving around?" His face was kind of like,
Yeah.
Like, please say yes that we're not the only ones.
Yeah. Because, like...
Oh, it does look like somebody standing there with their arms spread
Yeah,
out.
with the arms. Yeah, the tree outside.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, she's talking about, it's freaky, but nothing bad's happening. It's like another side of nature. So, like, they're kind of in a way... I mean, Craig T, not so much, but, like, they're kind of, like, opening themselves up even more to it.
Yeah.
Which, like, makes it even more, like...
Because they say the more you accept it and believe in it, the more powerful it'll be. That's usually how all kind of bad spirits work.
And, like, in this movie, it's, like, literally a physical gateway. So it's, like, they're just opening it up more and more the more they fuck with it. And it's kind of interesting, too. It's, like, because the gateway is in the kid's closet. And then there's, like, the whole tunnel that happens.
Oh, my gosh.
So, yeah. So this is where it starts going balls to the wall.
Holy crap.
With the tree literally busts through the window.
A hand.
Yeah. And it grabs them, pulls them.
Oh, my god.
And I love that the parents, like, actually see it happen, too.
It's not a thing where it's like, this happened. The kids are saying, this happened.
Yeah.
And the parents are like, no.
I know I talked about that with some other movie, but it's like, I hate movies where supernatural shit's going on. And, like, nobody can be convinced, you know what I mean?
That's every movie, pretty much.
But, like, pretty much everybody sees what's going on, so you don't waste that time.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And it's crazy, too, like, there's literally, like, a tornado that comes through.
Yeah.
And, like, that's kind of how they somewhat rationalize it.
Oh,
But Craig T, like, literally has to, but the tornado and the tree come to life, it's all a,
it's all that glittery stuff.
So I think it's just so you can see that, like,
the wind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally just glitter, but it's like, so you can see that, shit. And like they did this a lot.
Oh my gosh.
In movies back then, and they actually have a couple sets like this in this movie where it's like a set that's like on I guess a giant like gimbal or whatever where it can turn. So like the room is physically turning upside down. So like that's all this shit is like flying into the closet. And I like the intercut shots of her and then a puppet version of her, but it looks cool. There he is.
Oh my gosh, this movie's gnarly, man. Like it's
I know.
Scary, and this is like not that far into the movie either.
Yeah.
Like action got started fast.
Because there's so much like a lot of movies, especially haunt.
Gosh.
Like I love this movie, but I hate ghost movies in general because they usually can't get any physical action going. It's all farting around.
There she goes.
Yep.
There goes
The doll of her flying in.
Oh
yeah, the beds. This is gnarly too. Like, look at that. Oh, bam.
Dang, he like fell on his head.
I know.
Dad like did a DDT on him. The son did a DDT on the dad.
And then like the tornado's pulling the tree away, and then the trees like roots are trying to grab them.
Right from the tree.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The daughter's just been watching the whole
I know.
Whoa.
Yeah, the daughter says it's a tornado, which I mean it was, but it was more like an Evil Dead 2 tornado where it sucked everything into like
that fence.
Yeah.
Oh no, it looks like it. Those people are just standing out there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
oh my gosh.
it's not just mud, but it's like the
like
dad and the son,
slime.
like they had that slime from the tree was eating them.
It's like the evil
goo.
The residue that gets left by evil.
And this is like a very like chilling moment here, where they're looking for Carol Ann in the closet. You know, she's gone, but they don't know where she is, and like they think she's like dead under this blanket, but it's just the clown doll.
Yeah.
And like for a second,
he's still like, "Well, where is she?"
Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh!
And like, I feel like the little boy knows something.
He
here.
was like, "I told you guys there was something funky with that tree."
Yeah. And again, this is good filmmaking to kind of milk this moment, just the panic that I'm sure every parent has, you know, like losing a child even for 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Like so many things go through your head. Because I know the mom before was saying she was afraid of Carol Ann sleepwalking.
Oh, yeah.
During the pot smoking scene, because she gave a story about when she was a kid.
Yeah.
She sleptwalked and she got into a guy's car, and then like he drove to work the next day and then found her, and then everybody thought he was a perv that kidnapped her and stuff. So I always kind of wondered if like, because they think she was sleepwalking when she was like walking around looking at the TV and talking to the people and shit.
Yeah.
I wonder if there was like a little bit of like a paranormal gene that like got passed on, like almost like a psychic gene that got passed on from the daughter to the mom. I mean, from the mom to the daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, just more terror of thinking.
Oh my god!
I know, thinking she fell in the muddy hole of the thing and all that.
And the poor boy, they just like are leaving him by himself.
Yeah, and he's obviously in shock, but obviously he almost got eaten by a tree, so he knows something bad happened to Carol Ann. But he's the first one that hears her voice coming through the TV. Which like I don't think that's like
Oh, poor thing. He's so, like, traumatized.
Other than, like, paranormal shows. But that was, like, a big thing back then, that if you turned to a TV or usually more radio to, like, an empty, like static, that, you know, you would hear these voices that were supposedly gateways or whatever, communications from dead people, ghosts, whatever.
Yeah. That's in a lot of those ghost movies.
Yeah, like literally they made a whole movie all about it, White Noise, with Michael Keaton.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He's so scared.
And she hears Carol Ann's voice in the TV static.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at her hand.
Yeah, her hand's like completely
looks dead, like a dead hand. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
and like the sound effect they do of her voice. Which, like, it didn't really
even... Hey, that's C-Sun.
Yep.
I think. It looks like it. Kind of looks like it.
I don't know how accurate it was, but I watched, like, a thing on,
Was it?
I can't remember. I thought it was... No, I
don't think it is.
I think it was Irvine is where it was.
Yeah, it looks familiar, because when I was in high school, I did tours of the universities when it was that time, for senior year or whatever, and they used to take us on... trips to universities. It looked familiar. I just couldn't tell from where. Yeah,
and it was like used in as like the main city in one of the Planet of the Apes sequels. Oh. Here's another lady. Kind of reminds me of Dr. Joyce Brothers, the paranormal lady. And like this is like the I guess the archetype of all the paranormal ladies that are in movies now, and the Insidious movies and the Conjuring movies.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously, like, Lorraine Warren was around the wrong time. I wonder...
Oh, my gosh, look at him.
Yeah, he's so white. He's smoking now. He pretty much smokes through the rest of the movie when he never smoked cigarettes in the beginning.
Oh, my See, like, just how he looks. Like, it's just like, oh my god.
And like, again, like...
You just feel his pain of, like, losing his daughter.
That's one of the creepy scenes, too, where he's getting interviewed by them, trying to get them to come help. You know, there's, like, these collegiate paranormal investigators doing research, scientists, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's even walking around drinking a beer. Like, he totally looks like shit.
Yeah.
Little boy, his face is all scratched up from the tree.
Yeah, poor baby. See, that's why I say poor baby, all these kids.
I know.
I can't help it. I feel sad for them. And then the fact that they were, like, actually put through it. Was that tree always like that?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
That's a weird decoration.
I don't think they really showed it from that angle before, though.
Yeah. Just like, I mean, these kids really had to go through this stuff.
Like, this is a great moment here, great screenwriting, great direction, where the younger guy, he's talking about, yes, you know, I had this great paranormal experience where I saw a toy car go 7 feet in the course of 7 hours, and it wasn't, you know, perceptible to the naked eye, but I had time-lapse photography, and like, Craig T's just like, yeah, like, wait till I open up this door, fucker. Wait till we see what's going on here.
He's like, hold my beer.
Yeah. And, like, it's just literally the kid's room, just all the toys and shit flying, record albums flying around the room in a circle.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Yeah.
Put together.
The light bulb going in.
Oh.
There's some kind of chintzy rotoscoping here where the objects are kind of see-through and shit, but it's still funny. There's, like, lots of great clown noises.
Oh my gosh.
Protractor, I must say.
Jeez.
And I like that when the protractor just starts playing the record. Yeah. And then it was also when the Incredible Hulk rode by on a horse.
I know.
And it was like,
oh, now she's freaked out.
yeah.
It's like, you wanted to be investigating this shit.
Yeah.
Here you go.
I like it, though, that the paranormal... Like, usually in these movies now, like, the paranormal investigators show up. And, like, they're experts and they know everything. And, like, these people are very, like, science-based where it's just like, yeah, you know, these little tiny things that have been witnessed. They're, like, so amazed by, like... Yeah, like, literally the coffee pot's just flying around the table. But, like, I like
they look underneath like it's some trick.
I like how these people know that they're, like, in over their heads, you know what I mean? Like, they're not offering solutions. They're just trying to document what's going on and, you know, give any help and support to the family they can. Yeah.
They all know all the routines of everything.
Yeah.
Oh, they come in pairs.
It's so weird that Jo Beth Williams, who plays the mom, like, unless there's just a bunch of movies that I kind of like. Like, I know she was in a few things after this that I've seen, but, like, I can't think of any other, like, big name movie she was in, and she was so good in this movie. I can't believe this, like, didn't, like, you know, catapult her into, like, A-list female lead roles.
So they're trying to tell them the difference between a poltergeist and a haunting. Yeah,
so a haunting is basically a ghost that's attached to a house, where a poltergeist is a ghost who's attached more to a person.
Yeah.
In this case, you know, Carol Ann is who they gravitated towards. But, I mean, everybody's affected, obviously, all this shit that's going on. And, you know, now they're just playing the static on the TV to, you know, show to them. But, and I'm sure they would freely admit to it, but, like, the one thing that's, like, so similar to this is Stranger Things in the season 1 where the kid gets pulled into just the fact that there is another dimension, but he gets pulled into it, and then the mom, you can hear him, like, through the walls or communicating with lights and stuff. But for some reason, Poltergeist doesn't. It's always, like, Goonies and Ghostbusters and shit that gets, you know, listed as the main influences on that.
It's funny how, like, the mom is just, like, she's still perfectly normal looking and still glamorous, and the dad is, like, looking, like, bags under his eyes, all dark circles. And
Well, I mean, they obviously, you know, because they witness all the shit, so nobody in the family is really, like, a disbeliever, but I think the dad is thinking more that she's probably dead.
She's doomed.
Yeah, and I think the mom is just, like, still in denial to the point that she thinks she can get her back, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So they're hearing it. They hear whispering.
Yeah, coming through the TV.
Even the dog reacts.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, it's just nice too, like, the relationship.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the older daughter can't deal with the shit.
Just like everybody has different reactions, and that's like the interesting part of it. Like the mom, she's so like hopeful and happy when she hears from her. The dad's falling apart. The daughter's like freaking out.
Yeah. Because I guess really the daughter didn't go through too much during that attack, so she probably, you know, just the voices are really all she's witnessed. It's where they, you know, set up that she's on the other side and there's a light, and you know, the lady's telling her not to go to it because I guess it's just like then you would really be dead and not be able to come back.
Yeah. It's funny how she tells her it may be a way out, but not for her.
Yeah.
A hoax. He doesn't believe it. Oh.
Yeah, this is
around, dude.
Yeah, the gateway opens up.
He missed it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's like the nerdy guy who acts like he like doesn't believe shit for some reason. He gets an experience later, like, you know.
Yeah.
He probably gets the most intense experience out of all of them.
Oh, this is when they get all the ghosts, right?
I think that's later, but this is just where they have all the watches dropped through the ceiling.
Oh, I thought it was when they had all the ghosts.
But I think that's later because they don't have the camera set up yet.
Yeah.
And they capture all that on cameras later.
Now the mom's getting upset.
Yeah. But again, it's like, it's not slam bang, it's not jump scares, which all, you know.
Ugh, that's my least favorite thing about I don't watch any modern quote unquote horror movies anymore because I just that experience of the loud bang noise or whatever scare noise you want to call it, screech, whatever it is for that particular movie, like, it just turns me off so much more because it's not creepy, it's just loud and it hurts my ears, and that's not an experience I care to experience over and over again in a movie.
Well, I think too, the thing I hate about jump scares, like when I was a kid in movies, jump scares were always, they would slowly open up a closet and a cat would screech and jump out, which I mean was always corny, was always cliche, but it was just a way to kind of wake up the audience, get a jolt out of it. Now it's like the actual main character, monster, ghost, whatever, is always doing the jump scares in movies now.
It's always a shriek kind of.
Yeah. And it's like, it's kind of funny too, because it's like, what I like about this movie, and like I said, I don't generally like ghost movies, just like I don't like exorcism movies, because they're all corny and derivative of the Exorcist, but I love the actual Exorcist. Same with this.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you can only really do it once, and then after that, dang, who was that? Oh, was that the daughter?
Yeah.
She just like flew across the room.
Yeah,
like you kind of like can't really do it again after that, because it's like, once you've seen it, it's kind of like, oh, somebody already did it, you know, like.
And the thing is too, is like, especially what I hate about ghost movies now, it's always like they realize that the ghost is in the room with them, they slowly turn to look at it, and then the ghost runs at them and screams, but then nothing happens.
Yeah.
Whereas this movie, like, when the ghosts want to do some shit to you, like you're gonna get fucked up. Like,
well, like right now, like when Carol Ann went through her, like, that was like, she said she could feel her. It was even to the point where she smelled like her. That's crazy.
And the nerdy guy comes from being upstairs, and he got bit on the side now. Yeah.
Dang.
I like the little boy too. He's like, wow, you got bit.
That's a giant mouth.
Because like the energy waves are kind of exploding before, and people were getting knocked to the ground. But yeah, I think he actually got bit by the beast.
Yeah.
Because they set up in a little bit that there's a beast on the other side, which is kind of like the Demogorgon in Stranger Things.
See, it's like everything is copies everything at this point. It's like,
yeah.
Once you do it once, it's kind of like nothing. For me personally, like nothing else is interesting. I'd rather just watch the original, the one that set up the premises in the first place and then just stick with that.
Yeah, and like that's what I said about the sequels 2 and 3. They're fun movies on their own, but man, they just don't hold a candle to the original. And I think the reason is because, well, first of all, you don't have the talent level. You know, they're not Spielberg productions, but also too, it's like you can only do it once, and they did this original movie once. There wasn't like a lot of room left to like, oh, we could do this next time. Or, oh, we could do this. It's like they milked every bit of tension.
Yeah.
You know, they built in a lot of story. The characters had great depth. They all had like little moments that humanized and made them seem like real people.
They're doing all the science aspect. Like, considering everything, and it's just I don't know. And like anything else after in sequels or in any other kind of new movie that tries to get made, like it's just all gonna be like copying this.
Yeah, derivative.
Yeah.
And like even here, like they're building. They build a great moment here where the paranormal investigator lady and the mom like share a moment here, and they talk, you know. And, like, the lady ends up pulling out a flask, and they share a drink. And it's just, like... It's like, you know, these new movies, they ain't got time to bleed. They gotta hurry up and scare you with the jump scares and get you out so they can clean the popcorn off the floor for the next showing or whatever. Yeah. But I really like, you know, the idea of the way older style movie making was, of kind of like buy the ticket, take the ride. It's like, you wanted to come to see a movie about a family of people getting attacked by, you know, Poltergeist, literally. It's like, let's dive into it. Like, let's get our money's worth. Let's sit down. Like, let's pay attention to it. Let's get to know everybody. Yeah,
I never really get the impression that you kind of learn to know the characters to where you start caring about them. Like, it's just, all of the movies now just are kind of, oh, here's this family. Here's this scary shit happening to them. Oh no, there's something good or bad's happening to them. Okay, and like I never really care about the characters in the movie. Like when stuff happens to them, I don't care. Like, but when we watched this one the first time, like I just was like feeling so much emotion for like the little boy, the little girl, the dad. You know, like I had emotions about the mom, how she was being so weird, jumping around and like thinking it was so fun. Like, I had different emotions for each character. And then the sister, like the older sister, it's like, even though she was barely in it, it was like the way she was freaking out. And like, it's so scary, you know? Like,
well, even the little boy here is asking like, you know, if I die, will I be able to go see Carol Ann? They're saying, oh, she's not dead. Like, like even the little boy's on a journey of like trying to understand life, death, like whatever. And it's kind of cool too that the little boy comes up with the idea of putting the rope around them. Because they figure out there's a gateway that, like, kind of shits stuff out, but they don't know where to go in. Like, they think it's the bedroom, but, you know, they don't know it for sure.
Yeah.
And he's even asking, how come Grandpa's not on the TV? Because, you know, the grandfather died or whatever. And it's like, it just goes to show that she's not really dead. She's in another dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even this, look at this shot of just this lady's face. The lighting in this is better than the lighting in the fucking all of the last 20 Blumhouse productions. But,
yeah, I noticed that about older, like, movies and TV shows, is that they do a lot of that partial lighting kind of stuff to, like, emphasize people's faces or their positioning in a room or something like that.
Draw your eye to it.
Yeah. Whereas now it's, like, mostly just dark.
Flat.
And you can barely see anything on the screen a lot of the time.
Yeah. So, like, I guess we got to talk about this because this is all anybody wants to talk about with this movie. So I'll make it brief because it's not really a topic I like to talk about at all. But there's been this big horror community circle jerk the last few years about who directed this movie. So basically, like, the setup of this is a Spielberg production. Mm-hmm. Every Spielberg production, he lorded over, like, big time. You know, even the ones he wouldn't direct, he would, like, be all up in the business, kind of. And there was, like, a special clause with, because he was doing, this production was for MGM at the time, and then he was doing E.T. for Universal. So Universal was like, hey, don't fuck around with Poltergeist. Because, like, they're pretty much being made right at the same time. It was like, don't fuck around and try to direct 2 movies and then make it. Because, we got a lot of money into E.T. Like,
Yeah.
like, don't fuck around and then, shit tank E.T. because you're too tired from, making Spook House bullshit over here. So he kind of did this thing where he hired Tobe Hooper. And, nobody knows what the agreement was between them or whatever. But keep in mind, this is only 8 years after Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So literally 8 years from Tobe Hooper being a film school type of filmmaker. Mm-hmm. Low budget, like guerrilla filmmaking, Texas guerrilla filmmaking. So this is his first big he made movies since then for sure, but they were all still, B movie, driving circuit. Like right before this, he made The Funhouse, which was a pretty sizable movie, but nothing like on this level. Definitely not on the studio level the way this was.
Oh man, the lights turned out.
So there was like a lot of shit about Spielberg being on set and being the real director, and like different people have given different accounts. Some people claim Spielberg directed the whole thing, blah 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 blah. And there is tons of pictures you can see Spielberg on set. But like, a long story short, I kind of believe Mick Garris was actually, I don't even think he was a director yet, but he was like doing publicity. He did publicity for this movie and he was on the set a lot. And I know crew members and cast members said Steven was the real director. Other people said Toby set up all the shots and then Steven. But Steven, like, I don't think he's listed as a writer, but he wrote the shooting script, which is kind of like where you write in how you film it and how you want to do it and all that shit. So it's like, I think Tobe Hooper was the director, but it was really like kind of like a co-collaboration because like Spielberg couldn't officially be the director. But like, I don't know, according to what Mick Garris said, it's Toby's film and Spielberg was always like up in the business. Mm-hmm. And like when Bob Zemeckis made Used Cars under Spielberg, Spielberg was up in the business, and finally Kurt Russell put it into it. It was just like you're going to have to pick a director, you know what I mean? Yeah. And, so Spielberg backed off. And according to Mick Garris, nobody really stood up for Tobe Hooper. So, like, he kind of had to put up with, and, like, it seems like by all accounts he didn't mind. Like, I wouldn't mind if Spielberg was helping me make a movie and paying me good and shit. Yeah. And the success of this movie...
He's still getting the name credit.
Yeah, exactly. And the success of this movie, like, went on to really set up the next chapter of Tobe Hooper's career where he did a bunch more big-budget movies. So, like, I just think it's something horror fans shouldn't give a shit about because you have 2 master filmmakers helping to make one movie that ended up being a great fucking movie. So it's like, why care about it? So this was my favorite scene as a kid.
Oh my god.
Where the nerd goes to get something to eat. Yeah. And he spits out his chicken. Obviously this is the ghost or the beast or whoever fucking with his senses. But
yeah, this part.
Yeah, the steak like walks across the table by itself and then turns a bunch of goo. Then he goes to wash his face in the little sink room mirror.
Now it's blowing up the light.
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting hot.
Yeah, and his skin starts cracking apart. And then in a second, he's going to go full American Werewolf in London, fucking zombie corpse. Yeah, and he's just like tearing his face away. Which, I mean, obviously looks phony as shit, like especially this early part. But once he like really tears it off, like this was my favorite scene. Like this was so mind-blowing when I was a kid, when I first saw this movie, and then you see the skeleton all underneath.
So nasty.
So yeah. And by the way, you just saw a guy rip his own face off in a PG movie. So again, this scene that we just saw here, like, and like, how we say there, like, to me, like, I feel the Tobe Hooper touches in it. I feel like he takes it a step, just a half step further than I think Spielberg would have if Spielberg would have legit directed this movie. But I think he hired Tobe Hooper for a reason. He could have hired any name guy and just fucking like lorded over him. But I think he wanted like a true horror guy on there. And I think put it this way, I think it was a great marriage because I think Tobe Hooper helped emphasize the horror moments. Yeah. And I think Spielberg helped emphasize all the great story moments because I love Tobe Hooper. I love a bunch of his movies for a lot of different reasons, and a lot of them are different from each other. But this is definitely the best story-oriented film that Tobe Hooper ever got to work on.
This drives me crazy that he's totally not paying attention to the...
Yeah, and like the meter is like going fucking crazy, yeah.
Like, what's the point of being there?
Meanwhile, the other guy's ripping off his face in the next room.
Oh, it's getting all smoky.
Yeah, I like the little subtle like smoke effects and fog effects in this movie too.
Oh my gosh.
I think this is where all the ghosts come down. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, I think it is.
But like, look how fancy. Like, I like how you walk into this house and there's a full bar there next up to this fancy food. I mean, I don't want all the ghosts and shit. And I don't want the pathway to hell in there. But I definitely would love to live in a house that has the same floor plan. Old Craig T could sell me in a heartbeat. I'm surprised this guy, now that he's seeing like a parade of ghosts come down after just ripping off his own face, I'm surprised he's not dying of a heart attack yet. Well,
he's all sweaty.
Yeah. It could be the water he was splashing on his face, though.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, it's moving the light.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
And like, I don't know like what the difference is. Like, I don't know why, like at the very beginning of the movie where the hand comes out of the TV, I don't know why that shit like was so cartoony, but this shit's like so good. Mm-hmm. And this is it's kind of the same because actually the same guy ended up doing the special effects for Ghostbusters. Richard Edlund, at the time when this happened, he worked for ILM, but he went on and made his own studio later. But I love the visual look of like the way they would film these things. Like that was actually something they legitimately filmed, and then like they composited in, you know, like with that opacity in it so you can see through it. Mm-hmm. To me, that's so much better looking than when you just animate in a CGI object now. It blends together with the film elements.
I think maybe the other one looked different because it was not really meant to look like a human form, whereas this one, they probably used like a human form of some sort to make that image.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one was just like cartoon hands, like you can't really like use a human form to do
yeah, it was mostly too just like the, I don't know what you call it, electricity, smoke, whatever. Yeah, and then when they record it, they see a lot more, and you, like when you look at it very closely, you can actually see the old timey people. So like on the other side, there's obviously the beast that we know about, but there's like just regular spirits. It seems like that, you know, they're not really trying to hurt anybody or anything. Mm. They're kind of like old timey like miners or something.
Yeah.
Or Western wear, I guess. Yeah. Old hats and stuff. Like, they kind of look like the cult of people that the story's about in the second one, but obviously they weren't thinking about that when they made this. But it's kind of funny to the naked eye, just like that one ghost, and then it was really a whole parade was happening. Yeah. I thought this scene was, like, super odd, where they send the little boy away. They call a taxi for the little boy. Yeah. He gets in by himself. Like, the parents are, like, way far away, like, at the front door. Even the dog has to go in the cab. and there's, like, no dialogue with, like, when you get to your grandma's, do this. It's just the mom is like, call me, or whatever. And I'm just like, where the fuck is he going? All by himself, this little 8-year-old boy.
They talked about it in the scene before. He was going to go stay with somebody.
Oh, okay. I messed with him, but, yeah. Now they're talking about the jewelry that dropped out of the ceiling. Some of it is like, some of the jewelry's 100 years old. Some of it's new. Not new, but, you know, just a couple years old. Which, like, when you find out the full story, makes sense. Because, you know, like, their house is built over the graves of people. Yeah. And it's all those people, you know, they kind of, like, robbed them, I guess, at their rightful resting place. I like this bit where she gives the lady her flashback. Whoa, see how empty it is. But Yeah, I think it's this scene where, this is it, where she says, I'm leaving the one guy with you. But the nerd guy, Marty, he's not coming back. And he was like the most skeptical motherfucker, too.
And she's coming back.
Yeah, she'll come back and help her. I think she even tells her,
Dang, she's sitting on her lap.
Yeah, I'll bring hope. I like that. It's almost like a motherly relationship she has with Joe Beth Williams.
Yeah.
Because, just like I said, like the movie just has heart, and here we have the great, unfortunately the late. He just passed away a couple years ago. I love this guy, James Cairn. A lot of people know him from the Return of the Living Dead movies. Great classic actor. Yeah. He's Craig T's boss, the guy who, I don't know if he owns the whole company, but he runs the company that sells all the houses in the subdivision. He stopped by to see why Craig T's not at work, and Craig T's trying to cover it up and get him to look this way. Meanwhile, shit's moving, pianos are moving in the back and shit. I like how even for that little scene, still shit was going on nonstop.
Even outside.
It's almost like the ghost, and that's another thing that I find tedious about the ghost movies now, is only one person sees the shit, nobody believes them. Whereas the ghosts are just dancing around this fucking house, dancing their asses off, trying to get everybody to notice them and believe in them. I always like that little window, above the doorway in the house. I always wonder where that went to. I have a feeling that the real house, the interior, is nothing like it is, how you see it in the movie, but yeah. And this is kind of a cool little moment too, where she's curious, I think, about the room or whatever. I think she opens it and shit's still going crazy in there.
It's just funny how it's everything else is pretty much fine. There's no stuff flying around. I mean, there's stuff moving, but it's not like that hurricane room.
Yeah, not the hurricane room. Yeah, she keeps hoping that she'll open the door. Caroline will be there, but everybody's all screaming and shit. Oh, they tortured him. Yeah, this scene is fucking awesome too. Where James Cairn takes Craig T up to the where they're gonna build the next phase of houses.
Oh, she was born in that house.
Yeah, I think that's why they're because she was born in the spot where they were buried. Not died, obviously, but buried.
Yeah.
But this is the part where James Cairn tells me, the next round of houses, and we can build you a new house right here. And Craig T's well, making a joke, not much room for a pool because there's this old ass cemetery right here. And James Cairn says, well, we can just move the cemetery right down the road. And Craig T's what? Won't people be mad about that, And he's nah. He's we've done it before. And this is where he doesn't get the whole story, obviously, but he finds out that, at this point he's thinking the whole subdivision was built on a cemetery, but that they moved it because that's what he's telling him now. But later on at the very end of the movie, we find out the whole story. But I mean, Craig T's smart enough to, even in this point of story, to know that probably the reason he's starting to crack up a little bit because he knows the reason all this shit's happening, all these dead fuckers are walking through his living room, is because they disturbed what was going on here, this giant cemetery. And it's pretty awesome effect too, because there obviously is no real cemetery there. They just built this little front section, and then this part.
When did they talk about it?
Yeah, is the giant cemetery, and it's all a matte painting. I just think it looks fucking awesome. I saw actually a guy on YouTube, and it sucks that there's no real good special features on this Blu-ray. But a guy on YouTube went to that spot, and he shot how it looks now. You know what I mean? And the valley there, all the houses are built now. But yeah, that hill's actually not even that big. They're pretty much standing almost on the top of the hill for real right there.
It's funny how it says it's not like it's an Indian burial ground. They totally omit that out. They're that's not what's happening here. Yeah. It's just people.
Yeah, it's just people. Yeah. There's another cemetery 5 minutes down the road.
Oh my gosh! Now it's starting to clear.
Yeah, just the look on his face and shit.
Yeah. That was one thing, like, where I used to live when I was younger. They basically always said that it was built on top of Indian burial ground. Because some people would say that they would have weird stuff happening in their house, like the channels changing and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's just funny because it was like housing development, you know?
Yeah.
That's where they put all the poor people.
Yikes.
So, like, yeah, like, they always said, this was built on an Indian burial ground. Here she is.
Yeah, this is where we get the great Zelda Rubinstein coming in as, I guess she's a medium.
Yeah.
She's kind of got a Lorraine Warren vibe going on herself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like how blunt and, like, I wouldn't say rude, but I like how blunt she is. How she's like, can y'all hang back? You're messing up my signal frequency. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a great moment here in a second where she goes up the stairs, and like Craig T's like fucking with her. Like she asks a question, and then he's like, "See, like I was thinking the answer," and blah blah blah. And she's supposed to be psychic, but she couldn't read my mind. And then she's like, "Yeah, I read your mind. I just don't like trick answers."
That's funny.
Yeah. So what side of the rainbow are we working tonight, Dr. Lesh? Making a magic. Is this your Knott's Berry Farm solution? I thought that was a funny line. I kind of don't get the Knott's Berry Farm reference, but I get this side of the rainbow one, but obviously she's a little person.
Oh.
Yeah, her name's Tangina. Yeah, this is the moment where he fucks with her. He's thinking the answer.
Maybe instead of saying, like, Mickey Mouse solution to fix it, like, they said Knott's Berry Farm instead.
I don't know. I just don't know what Knott's Berry Farm has to do with ghosts or small people or psychics. I mean, maybe just, like, thinking that the whole psychic thing was, like, a entertainment sideshow type thing, you know?
Oh, she's a clairvoyant.
Clairvoyant, yeah. I just don't like trick answers. But yeah, this lady was like so famous. Like I have seen some other movies she was in and stuff, but she was really so famous just from this movie. And even herself, like the way she does her performance, the voice she puts on, like she's like just as scary as the ghost, really.
Yeah.
And just the visual of her, how short she is.
You're gonna give me whiplash.
Yeah.
It's interesting how she's wearing all white.
Yeah.
She already knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I was watching a thing about Poltergeist and the whole curse thing and all that. And, like, the way the little girl ended up in the movie was, like, very coincidental. Like, her mom was saying, I forget what she said she did, but she was working on the film set of that movie Pennies from Heaven. And the little girl was there with her. And Steven Spielberg was visiting, and, like, he saw the little girl and, like, started talking to her and stuff. And he was just, like, I mean, as far as I know, it didn't even sound like she was really even a child actor. It just, like he was just, like, fell in love with her instantly. And was, like, you know, asking her to come, like, audition and stuff. So it's really just, like, coincidence like that. It's weird how I mean, I kind of get it, too, because, like, you know, people have to scout for child film actors because a lot of the ones that are trying it aren't that good, and then some of the best ones are just kind of like naturals, you know what I mean? And I think that's how this little girl is kind of like how Eddie Furlong, they just found him at a mall for Terminator.
But what was the thing with the little girl, like the curse or whatever?
Well, the curse didn't even have anything to do with the little girl till like later, but pretty much after they made every Poltergeist movie, a person from it passed away. So after this first one, the teenage daughter, Dominique Dunn, unfortunately was strangled to death by a crazy ex-boyfriend or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Then part 2, the Indian guy in it, who plays the Indian shaman in the movie in real life, was the Indian shaman. He was, because like that, well, there's a whole curse thing with them using real skeletons in this movie.
Oh gosh.
Which that's kind of how the shit got started. The curse got started. A lot of things went wrong and whatever. And I never like quite bought this explanation, but they claim that nobody ever thought to use fake skeletons back then. So when you made a movie, you just always bought real skeletons.
Wow.
And supposedly everybody claims that you would always get the real skeletons for movies from skeleton farms in India or whatever.
Yeah.
So they got all these real skeletons, and then they put makeup on them. Like that's what all the corpse skeletons are later on. And then they also used some real skulls in part 2. And then like the Indian guy, like he knew some bad shit was going on. Like the first day of filming on part 2, like all the film came out like just black, like nothing was on it.
Oh, yeah.
So he did a cleansing and everything, and then like within a year, like he died, supposedly a routine surgery. He had some illnesses, a routine surgery. He passed away unexpectedly.
Oh, wow.
And then when they're making part 3, the little girl got sick. She was like 12 years old by the time they made part 3. And the movie was like about 80% done. I think the director said he only had like 17 pages left to shoot. But you can see it in the movie. In some parts of the movie, like her face is puffed up. She had like a mystery illness. They didn't know what it was. So like they had done x-rays, like everything. And the doctors, like, they misread the x-rays. They didn't see what was wrong. Some kind of blockage in her thing. So it was like
Her chest?
it was like, I think it was more like in her stomach, because it had to do with her organs were swelling.
Yeah.
And she died of sepsis, so it was like...
Jeez.
Yeah. So it was like... the
movie.
Yeah, the movie wasn't finished, and like... I saw yesterday I watched a documentary thing where the little girl's mom was saying she got up for school and she was sick, and the mom told her, well, like, I want you to eat a piece of toast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because you didn't eat last night or whatever. Yeah. And, I mean, this had been going on for a while. It seemed like, from what they were talking, you know, going to doctors, and no doctor finding anything wrong, whatever. So she ate a little bit of food and got sick, and she started, like, turning colors, like purple and shit. So the mom called the ambulance right away, and, like, they were just pretty much saying, like, this is it, like, she's gone or whatever. So the mom had her airlifted to Children's Hospital because, like, the people were just giving up on her.
Yeah.
And, like, they tried to rush her into surgery because, like, once they realized where the blockage was, but it was just too late. Like, the sepsis, you know, illness, whatever, just had taken her too quick.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know, just weird. And it wasn't like she was ill for, you know, years and years. It wasn't like...
Just for the movie?
Yeah, it was pretty much seemed like something that was just going on for a few weeks, if not a few months at the most. And, you know, they were getting her to the doctor and all these tests, and they couldn't, whatever. They just, you know, fucked up with the medical, you know, stuff. So, yeah, so that's, I mean, there's a lot more stuff involved in it. A guy fell asleep and died on the set of part 2, and just, like, on the set, just, I don't know, just weird stuff. But I mean, I don't know. It's all, to me, like, I look back on it and it's just sad. Like Dominique Dunn, 22 years old, being strangled to death by a stupid boyfriend, and then, you know, the little girl having a medical thing that they couldn't diagnose correctly, and it just to me, it's just all tragedy. But it is weird. I mean.
It's weird that so much happened and associated with this series.
Yeah. But it's just... But the thing that's kind of weird about it, and, you know, like, the thing I was watching, and, you know, they bring on the paranormal guy, and he's like, oh, when there's a curse, and there's all this, I'm kind of like... Yeah, I get it, and it's all spooky, and kind of try to play connect the dots. But shouldn't, like, Steven Spielberg... I mean, I know Steven Spielberg almost got raped by that guy. But shouldn't...
What?
Yes. Shouldn't Steven Spielberg, like, be, like, you know, super cursed, and Frank Marshall and Kathleen Kennedy and everybody who be... Like, the people who creatively wanted to make the movies, like, shouldn't they have suffered from the curse, too? Like...
Well, I mean, if it's something where it's, like, people who are in contact with the stuff, like, the... shaman and the skeleton stuff and all that, like, it could just be something where it's like the people who are closer in proximity to everything.
Yeah,
because I mean, if those people, I mean, other than Spielberg, I guess, but if those people were never really there on the set, like, I mean, you could see it that way.
I mean, Spielberg was literally the ghost director, supposedly. Shouldn't he have some shit coming down on him?
I mean, not if he wasn't really around that much.
I mean, they claim he was there every day, so I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he's got some Jewish juju that works for him.
He must have had a rabbi on call 24/7 to give him special blessings.
Yeah.
So going back to the Tobe Hooper factoids here, another movie I really enjoy. And, like, when people are like, oh, Tobe Hooper would never make a movie about kids, and he would never blah, blah, blah. Well, like, literally the year before this, he made The Funhouse, which was a bunch of kids going to a, you know, carnival, a bunch of evil carnies and a monster in a funhouse killing people. But one of the movies he did after this, the remake of Invaders from Mars, I thought it was funny. Like, the kid also had a lot of Star Wars shit in his room, and then that C-3PO. I don't know what it is, like a light or what it is.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
That wall. I remember seeing those, but I never had one or anything. But the kid in Invaders from Mars has that on his wall, too. I thought that was funny. I thought this was pretty good, too. Pretty smart that, like, they're going to throw these, like, tennis balls that they marked with numbers into the closet gateway. Because, you know, what they're hoping is that you know, it will go through the dimension and come out the hole in the living room. Yeah. Which it does. And also so Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is how, like, every time they get touched by a ghost, they get slimed with green slime. Well, in this one, it's like pink slime. Yeah. So this movie even set this up.
Yeah, they have that on a lot of horror stuff where, like, the
ectoplasm.
The evil leaves a residue.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Kiss my ass.
Also,
so yeah, she explained it how, like, the little girl's being deceived to think that she's being with people that are safe, and that the thing looks like another child to Carol Ann, but to us it's a beast.
It's the beast, yeah. And I think that's why it kind of, like, attacks everybody to keep them away, because, you know, they don't say it, but I mean, I would just naturally deduct that it wants to keep her in there to kind of suck on her life force.
Yeah. And she was explaining, too, that Carol Ann is different from the other spirits there because they're all dead, but Carol Ann is alive.
Right.
So, yeah, it's like they're feeding off of her.
And again, yeah, Stranger Things, when they come out of I think they call it the Upside Down. The other dimension, they come out all slimed up, too. Yeah. And I like that effect, too, of, like, when it shows the rope hanging there, like, it looks like it's split on the end, but it's really just that, you know, half of the rope is in the dimension and half of it's in our world.
I like this cool idea they come up with.
Yeah, to create this rope. Well, really, it's the little boy who came up with it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I wish Craig T would have worked with gloves, because, man, that rope is burning through his hands. Yeah, I really like this moment, too. I think it's even in the trailer, where she's like, the clairvoyant Tangina, she's like, help me tie this around my waist. And the mom's like, no, I'm going in because she'll come to me, you know. And she's like, Tangina's like, well, you haven't done this before. And she's like, well, neither have you.
I know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I mean, there's just so many iconic moments in this movie, but this is like another iconic thing of like when they come through the thing.
Yeah.
Come out all slimed up. I love this when the wife and the husband kiss.
I like how he did like a sailor's knot on her instead of just a regular knot.
Yeah, he tied her.
And then the psychologist is like, "Oh, she's all in love with that."
I know.
Watching their love
when they kiss with the light in the background, and they totally milk it by showing the lady's reaction. Now, it's not technically a remake because they have different names and stuff, but you know the quote unquote remake, which I thought the 2015 movie was sold as a remake, but then I've heard other things say it's a reboot, continuation, whatever. But I will say one thing that's kind of cool in that movie is the little boy in that movie. He says like, "Let's send a drone in to look for her," and like you actually get to see the world. And like normally I'm like, you know, I love the way this movie does it. You don't really see the other side or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have to say, that's kind of the coolest moment I think of that particular movie, that 2015 movie, is when you see the shit. It's pretty out there and freaky looking.
You know what's funny though is that like, I mean, as much as the TV at the beginning was like strobing me out,
yeah,
like this part here, like I've been watching it the whole time and like I haven't felt like strobed out at all. Like my eyes haven't got all messed up or anything. Like that's like one of the things that I don't like about modern movies and TV too is how they use a lot of flashing.
Yeah.
But that like it gives you like a nasty like it makes your eyes all googly and it just kind of like blows out your brain when you're watching it. But like I haven't felt that at all with this.
Well, I think with this little part here, it's because it's flashing at a lower speed, and there's different colored lights mixed in. It's just not flashing black and white. It's more blue with yellow mixed in.
But like even when it was filming right into the closet where the flashing was coming from, like I wasn't bothered by it at all.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. Oh man. This is so like it's just like I'm just like speechless watching it.
Yeah.
Even though I've already
Yeah, the beast comes out, the giant skull.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh no, he let go.
And and then on the other side they pull.
Oh my gosh.
Her in the.
Oh okay, because they pulled it.
Yeah, they pull her through, but because this Blu-ray and I'm assuming the DVD sucks too for special features. They just have generic ghost talk special features. Go on YouTube if you like this movie, and because even Amblin put it up, and they kind of have the best quality copy, but it's still sub VHS copy. But find the behind the scenes of Poltergeist. It's only about 7 minutes long. It's really the only behind the scenes footage you'll see of this movie, and that scene where he pulled the beast out of the closet. They showed how they shot that scene, and it's pretty impressive. The special effects, it's pretty cool.
I don't want to know how.
Yeah, I won't ruin it here. But
I don't like watching special features.
They are so gooped up.
I know.
They come out like passed out. Like it looks like they're not breathing. They got to get them in the water.
Like, they were in like a weird state.
Yeah.
Even the little girl, she's still like that.
Yeah, which you think they would be gravitating to her first.
I know.
And I don't think they say it, but you know, because like how she's like, get them in the water,
Yeah.
To like wash all that shit off. I think maybe like they're cold and like they need the warmth of the water.
I think that was what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little girl wakes up like normal. Yeah.
Ew, she put that goop on his head.
I know. They're like making.
They're all kissing.
I love this scene though, where the investigator lady closes the door to let them have a private moment.
Have a private moment.
Yeah, and then
like...
Tangino all pose it.
Ooh, look at me. I'm ready for my close-up.
This house is clean. Not quite.
I know. Just because it got her out doesn't mean that thing's gone.
Yeah, which, like, by the way, this is like a 2-hour movie. And, like, that whole scene was awesome. And it really could have been the finale of just about any movie at the time. Especially with movies back then that weren't as, you know, big and grand. And, like, this, it's funny because even when I was watching this yesterday and I knew better because I've seen this movie 20 times over the years. This feels like, especially the way they do movies now, like, this feels like the final scene. Like, it's bright daylight again. The whole family's back. They're literally moving out the next day. They're packing up boxes on the lawn and shit.
The mom has some,
some Bruce Campbell gray.
Storm hair.
Yeah.
Or not storm, What's her name? Wait.
Yeah, Storm.
Yeah.
Well, Storm has hair like... Actually, Storm has all white hair.
Yeah.
You're thinking of Rogue, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say Rogue.
Like,
yeah.
wait a minute.
You threw me off. But,
I was like, because I remember seeing in the movie where it turns gray and on the sides or whatever,
yeah.
and I was like, or she has the one streak or whatever. I was like, no, it's not Storm.
yeah. Bruce Campbell's hair gets all streaked like that. I think in Evil Dead too.
Yeah.
Like you actually see it. It's like stop motion animation. But it's just everything's so warm and so happy, and it's like they're they're doing the right thing. They're getting the fuck out of this house, but like they should have never they should have sent movers to go in there and pack that shit up for them, and like never went back in the house again. But it totally does feel like this is like the happy ending, and this would be the happy ending in like 99% of movies. But like we still got a whole 20 minutes left, and like as cool as everything was with pulling them through the side and the beast popping out of the closet and shit, I think the ending that happens here is like even cooler, and it really is like the grand finale that really takes it to a Spielberg production level.
At least the dad's looking better.
Yeah.
It makes me feel
he got
better.
color again.
He doesn't have the black around his eyes anymore.
No.
I like how she's always just sitting there laughing, like,
yeah. I like how you can tell too that the mom's gray hair is like a piece like glued onto the side of her hair. It's like glued onto her temple.
She's like, don't dye my hair gray.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to ruin it for like a 5-minute scene. Yeah, because the daughter was like saying like, when are you going to do something about this? Like she's already dyeing her hair now. But like I don't know, like I can't believe like they let the kids go sleep in the room again.
I know.
Like they were supposed to like leave and stay at the Holiday Inn anyway. But he's just like, if I get back late, just let the kids knock out for a little bit or whatever. I would never let them back in that fucking room, like, because like it wasn't even like they pulled Carol Ann out from the other side, but like, and Tangina's like, this house is clean, but nobody really did a blessing or anything.
I know, that's why I said like just because they pulled her out doesn't mean that thing's gone.
Yeah,
I don't get this thing because we see it a lot in hotel rooms.
Yeah,
who like thought that red lighting like in the bathroom was like desired?
Well, it's not just red lighting. It's supposed to be a heat lamp to make the room hot. So like when you get out of the shower or tub or whatever, you won't be like their room is like 90% packed up and everything, but like and like because at the beginning of the movie, so she wouldn't get scared, they'd always leave the closet door cracked open with the light on inside. Like I would like nail that shit shut. Like that's where the gateway, that's where the beast lives. Like fuck that.
I think it's funny how she got undressed and now she's like all naked under her robe to go talk to her kids.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Oh my god.
Like this is just like a weird thing to bring up, but like I always wonder what the family dynamic is. Like, are all these kids belong to her and Craig T? And by the way, the little girl has like the original Luke Skywalker figure with the telescoping lightsaber. Like that shit's worth a lot of money. She just has it chewing in her fingers, in her mouth, just chewing the legs off.
Well, it wasn't then. It wasn't worth it then as much then.
But when Craig T first went to the investigator people, they were acting. Damn, I had that same yellow lamp back there. That's weird. Like, they asked all the ages, and, like, the oldest daughter is 16, and then they asked the wife's age. He says 31. Oh, she's going to be 32 next week or something like that. I'm like, well, whose daughter is that? Is it their daughter? Did she have... But, like Craig T seems older. Like, did he knock her up when she was, like, 16 years old to have that daughter? Or 15 or whatever?
Oh, the older daughter?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Because either she's the older daughter from from Craig T's previous marriage, or Jo Beth Williams got like knocked up super young. I always thought that was weird. Like I never really questioned it until I heard that dialogue last couple times.
She's sitting in a tub with no water.
Yeah, Calgon, take me away. I think that's just so she's not floating to the top with her boobs exposed.
It's so weird how, like, they do everything, like, with all the doors open.
Yeah. I really don't get why, to be honest with you.
It's like, you think she's naked. You
Yeah.
think that, like... Or is it one of those things where it's like, well, you don't have kids, do you? You don't understand that just... You don't care about being naked around your kids because once you have kids.
Yeah, like, we just had a one-bathroom house. The first house I lived in, and everybody, when we took a bath, we closed the door.
Uh-oh.
Yep, the clown is gone from the chair. Which, like, I hate the whole revolution of spooky clowns scare me, but, like, that doll was pretty freaky looking. Supposedly this was another curse element too, and I've only heard this story from one place, so I don't know if this was true, whatever. But they claim that the animatronics went wrong on the doll and started choking him for real.
Oh my god. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And what's weird is, like, I always thought when I was a kid, like, my memory of this movie, I always thought, like, the clown attacked, like, early in the movie. I didn't realize he was, like, way later. I always remember the tree and the clown, but I thought the clown happened first for some reason.
Dang, I'm gonna start doing that with my hair. Blow dry it upside down.
Yeah, she does.
So it'll be all nice and poofy.
Yeah, she does it like she combs her hair from like the back of her neck.
But now she's just going to sleep on it.
Look like that.
Oh my god.
She gets some like Barbara Hershey entity action here, where she's getting raped. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then this is another Freddy Krueger-esque. But of course, Freddy Krueger ripped it off of this movie, but this like the Freddy Krueger spinning room shit.
Oh my god.
Where she's rolling all up onto the ceiling. Or really the ghost of pushing her.
It's so funny because it's like, I know like that thing that exists about like the the room spinning. Mm-hmm. But I don't like... I still don't... I mean, when I'm watching it...
Oh, you can't tell.
I'm just into the moment where I'm like, how is this happening? Yeah. It looks so crazy.
Now, the little boy, I mean, I know in real life his name is Oliver Robbins, but for some reason I can never remember his name in the movie. I think it's like Robbie or something. He actually, I like that at the end he gets stronger. He defeats the clown.
Mm. Oh my god.
Like he's tearing it apart, screaming at it. Yeah. But then like...
Oh my god.
Just everything's happening here, like the closet's going crazy again, but it actually like gels up, like it closes, and like all this shit is like growing outside of it.
Doesn't the doorknob get hot, or it gets hot on the outside? Oh
yeah,
my god!
Yeah, here's a great monster guarding the room, keeping her out.
Holy shit!
Because the little boy can't open the door to get out.
Oh my gosh!
I thought like electricity comes out and shocks her.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did.
But I thought the doorknob stayed hot. That thing is nasty.
Yeah. That's awesome. They did.
Oh, there she goes.
It was just a couple years ago, like maybe 4 or 5.
She's like, fuck this. She no-sold that shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She gets shocked there.
Oh, my god.
She can't even get out. That was a great effect. They totally just blew her back on wires. But they did a... oh,
my gosh.
What do you call it? Universal Haunted Nights thing. Yeah. Maze. And they made like kind of like a cool recreation of the house. And like they had the steak going across the counter. Like the kitchen really looked just like the one from the movie. It was crazy. But funny. Yeah, the bedroom door, they had that monster, that big long arm monster there. This is one of my favorite parts too, where she's falls.
Oh yeah,
because she's she's so naked too. Like all
she's
she
all
has
rolling around,
panties and this football shirt.
Oh my god!
I know we talked a lot about football shirts on this podcast before, but like the good old '80s football shirts. Yeah, the course. So those are real skeletons. She even corroborated it herself.
Wow.
She didn't know it until like they dumped her into there.
Oh my god!
This is so awesome too when the coffin comes out and the rotting corpse rolls out of it.
Oh my god!
And it's kind of funny like how you like remember things like when you're a kid. Like I could have sworn after I saw this movie in my memory, this movie, that the skeletons were like more alive than they really are. Like they kind of really are because they're all like shooting up out of the grave, but I mean they're not actually moving. But like when you see this scene as a kid, like your mind kind of fills in the blanks, and
it's scary because she can't move.
She can't get out. It's too slippery. Yeah. But like when I saw it as a kid, it always felt like they were dragging her down.
Yeah.
Those are freaky, man.
Yeah, especially knowing that they're real. Like, fuck
Yeah,
that
like,
shit.
I mean, obviously all the flesh and shit you see on them was makeup that they applied, but the actual skeletons underneath, that's just wrong.
Oh my gosh. Oof.
Yeah. Too creepy. I actually thought this was interesting that the doofus neighbor showed up to help her out of the pool.
Well, because she was screaming for him.
Yeah, but they're actually too scared to help her. Like, they won't go in the house. Yeah, Ben.
Fine, go away then.
Yeah, worthless looky-loo fucking neighbors. Man, the ghosts really like to fuck with that lamp. This is a great shot here, and I think it's one that a lot of people forget about. The stretched out hallway. Yeah.
Is that just a camera thing? The lens?
No, well, both. They built a super long hallway, but then, yeah, the lens is what made it look from normal to super long. Because she's literally running the whole thing. And this is cool, too.
Jeez.
Back to Evil Dead 2 with the giant hole. It's so nasty, too. It's almost like some Sarlacc pit shit, because a tentacle starts, like, coming out of it here in a second.
Oh, my God.
Trying to suck them into the other side. So, I mean, now it just wants everything. Everybody. It's funny, too, because, like, they really, like, let the little boy, like, get pulled up in the air, but you can tell the little girl's a doll. Caroline's a doll. There's that glitter. It's back. I think the glitter was just to help sell that the wind was sucking.
Yeah. Oh, here it goes.
Yeah, there goes the tentacle.
Oh my God, this movie is so scary.
And you know what? Like, look at that. That's so nasty, that hole. And I like it too. It's not just like a big feathery light hole. It's like literally a legitimate like throat of something weird down there.
Yeah.
But this is what I mean. That's why when I was bitching about modern ghost movies. Like, they don't have anything like this in it. It's just all about jump scare, leave it to your imagination, nothing. But like you know, if you're like a legit monster fan, whatever, like you get to see cool creatures and monsters in this.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah, the lights.
That is crazy.
Yeah, he's freaking out.
And nobody's like noticing on the neighborhood. Oh, there he goes. Oh my gosh. And it's like worse than before.
Yeah. Look, even the stairway's moving now.
Oh my god, it came back with a vengeance. Oh man.
Yeah, and like the corpse really just shoots
the
up
thing
out of
came out of the ground.
Yeah.
Oh shit, she got chopped in.
They're all shooting up out of the ground
man.
now.
Damn. Oh my god.
I like this was like the number one thing I remembered out of this movie.
That is crazy. Like they're just like coming out to
Here
get
we
you.
are. But they're not zombies. They're not alive.
No.
They're just shooting out.
That's just me giving them personality.
You son of a bitch. You moved the cemetery, but you left the bodies. You only moved the headstones.
Oh my god.
And I really like that they worked it in that the guy. I mean, I don't think he dies or anything here, but he gets his comeuppance. Like, he realizes what the fuck he did. You know what I mean?
Like, he's seeing it with his own eyes.
Yeah.
What a jerk. What a dummy. Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So terrible. The poor mom, she's just like running around in her fucking t-shirt.
I know.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
I thought he was going to have to run back in to get the keys. But now he had them in his pocket. But, and this is awesome too. I was sitting here yesterday, I was like, it would be awesome if one just flew onto the car hood. And then, like, watching the second one just flies out of the fucking garage.
Oh my god, dude, hurry up.
Yeah. You actually get to see Carol Ann be scared here.
Oh, it does. Oh my god.
Like, this is one of the best horror sequences in, like, any movie.
Oh, god.
Just in time, Dana comes home from hanging out with her friends.
Don't get out of the car, go away.
Yeah, she's, like, so petrified here, too. Look, she's got a hickey on her neck, too.
That's funny.
Yeah. Like, she takes so long. Like, the coffins are literally overturning cars. That's how crazy it is.
Get in the car. The house is coming? Is that what it is?
Yeah, like, well, it like, implodes here in a second.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, now everybody in the neighborhood sees it. Dang, look at that fire.
I know.
Oh,
it's
shit.
It's like complete hell.
Everything's blowing up now.
Everybody's shit is, like, destroyed now. And I actually read that they actually cut holes in the street because somebody on a message board who lived in the neighborhood said for years until they repaved the street, you could see the holes where they had cut into the street.
Oh my god!
Yeah, this is a great special effect. They made a whole model of the house and sucked it inwards.
That's crazy.
And Spielberg had a clear plastic box of just the rubble of it on his piano at his office.
Crazy.
Yeah, and it's crazy when you see the lot that the house was on.
So, like, the coffins weren't coming up on, like, any of the other houses?
No, they were. Because they're all down, you can see them down on the street and on the other yards and shit. Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're just kind of in the background of that shot when they're driving the street.
Crazy.
And I love here where they show this sign, "You are now leaving Cuesta Verde. We'll miss you."
Fuck that shit. We ain't gonna miss you.
I know.
Oh my god.
But, like, this is a movie I always say I loved when I was a kid. Like, I literally just turned 5 years old when this movie came out and saw it. And it's like, this is what you want. I mean, this is what I want in a horror movie now, don't get me wrong. But when you're a kid, this is what you want, like, big, crazy shit happening, scary, tension, Yeah. And plus, like I said, you can relate to it. Because that was something smart they did in 80s movies was, they always put kids in them so that kids could, like, relate to a character in the movie, you know what I mean?
That's a fancy holiday.
That's the old school Holiday Inn signs, too. I remember seeing ones like that. And obviously, and this is brilliant, too, because this is all one shot, the tracking shot of them going down the,
Being all dead.
Yeah. Totally. And, like, they have no clothes. Like, I wouldn't even say clothes, all they left was the clothes on their back. But, like, half of them are naked, have no shoes. I think Craig T and Dana are the only ones that actually have shoes.
Yeah.
And then I just remember this thinking, even as a kid, this was so clever. And then he puts the TV out on the walkway there. He's like, fuck this shit.
Like,
get this out. He's like, it's raining. He don't give a shit. Throw that shit out in the rain.
This ain't for us.
Yeah. Just the perfect, like, especially, and like, I remember kind of like the feeling a little bit of seeing this movie in a theater, and I remember being jam-packed because it was summertime. It's just like, this is like literally, and not in like a shitty sellout way, but like in a good blockbuster, like scary, like, scream-a-thon, whatever, like seeing this and just like, the way the movie ends with all that shit popping out of the ground, it's just like it's like 4th of July fireworks. You know what I mean?
I think most of me on this podcast is me saying, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Because I mean, like, no kidding, it's literally like white knuckle. Because like,
this is only my second viewing of it ever.
Yeah, but it's just like the whole movie. Like they ratchet it up.
Yeah.
Like it keeps getting bigger. It keeps getting better. And like first it's kind of like what you think a ghost poltergeist movie would be. That's another thing. Like nobody had ever heard the word poltergeist before this movie.
Yeah.
But
then it became a pop culture thing.
Yeah.
Then we all knew what poltergeist was.
But it's kind of like it starts out okay. Yeah, this is kind of what the little girl hearing voices, shit moving around the house. But they just keep ratcheting it up, and like then you see the portal and the ghost come out. Yeah. Then you see they can go through to the other side. The beast comes out, and then just like the end is just like it's like they were so good back then in movies of like making images, like in Raiders of the Lost Ark where all the Nazis melt and she's like, just like there's like certain scenes in movies back then that like. Even if you never saw them again, like you just they're just so there's always 3 or 4 images from each movie that would just be burned into your consciousness,
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, like for me it was just that the only thing I ever remember from this movie when I was little, and I would always see like the commercials that they ever played or maybe I don't know trailers or whatever. Was just her turning around and saying, "They're here."
Yeah.
Like, and that always kept me away from watching it. And that was always like, it was like if anybody, like if that was some weird, like just in real life, in everyday real life, if something weird had happened or you hear a weird noise, like, and somebody would like joke around and being like, "They're here." It's like, it
I know.
Like, it was
I think it was one of those lines
creepy.
too that was like so like used in commercials and shit too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pool worker number 2, son of Orlando. I don't know if it's the same guy, but I saw in the stunts there was a George Wilbur, and like I know George P. Wilbur was Michael Myers in I want to say part 4. Yeah, part 4. I wonder if that's the same stunt man. Played Michael Myers. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's just so much, and you know, like this is a movie, obviously from my youth. Like it always stayed with me. I loved it. You know, everything was awesome about it. But it's like, it's a movie I went a lot of years. You know, and then I saw the
It came out the year I was born.
I know.
1982.
And then I saw the sequels and stuff through the years and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's like, I think I revisited this, like I rented the DVD from Netflix maybe about 10 years ago and got reacquainted with this. And every time I watch it, and then I picked up the Blu-ray maybe 3 or 4 years ago. It's just so much better than even you remember. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's damn near like a perfect horror movie. Like it just, I mean, there's just so much depth to it, and especially as an older person. Because I mean, like I said, like like us picking up so much more now. You know, the nuances of the parents, because when you're a kid, they're just the parents in the movie. Yeah. But like how you said, like Craig T. Nelson, man, he's so fucking good in it. It's just like...
Yeah, I felt the same way, even watching it with no sound. And like, it's just like, just seeing him, the way he was reacting, I was like, oh, he was like dying inside. Because he was so tortured with losing his baby.
Yeah, and the special effects, just like really being great. I mean... For any time, I think 75% of the effects in this movie now beat out like that thing that was at the door screaming at her. It's like that's cooler than anything you see in a movie now. And I get it. It's just a puppet that was just screaming and it didn't really move. It didn't really do anything. But like,
it's still creepy as hell.
Yeah,
it's like scary. Like, what if you saw that shit yourself in real life? Like, it's not like you'd be like, oh, that's funny looking.
Yeah, there's just nothing that, now in movies that, like, comes with it. And, like, they can animate things and make them move all around. But, like, I don't know. Just, like, just I guess the simplicity of it is what, like, taps into, like, that fear.
And that's the thing is, like, that's something that I've come to appreciate over time, like, for a while now, but just that aspect in movies now where they take the time to have no soundtrack, and they just let the sounds of the scene play out, whether it's, like, a fight scene, or, like, something scary happening or something. You don't need music. Like, no music, to me, makes it scarier because that's how it would be in real life.
Right, right.
So it's like, I think that that's something that, I mean, I've noticed, like, in the newer kind of horror movies or whatever, they do try to do, like, quiet.
Yeah.
But then they just ruin it by blowing your ears out with a loud noise. Where instead of just letting the moment hang, and like let it breathe and, experience it how the person is experiencing it or whatever, it's like, I mean, I guess you could say whatever the monster is there or whatever does screech, but I don't know. That's just, it's that screeching thing, that jump scare is such an overused, like,
well, it's just,
method to, like, horror
it's
movies,
bullshit,
just like, yeah. But like this, it was like when they were in the bedroom and like Tangina was there and like they were like fighting the monster, basically like doing the rope and all that. It was loud and like you feel like she's like yelling, like she has to yell like the directions and stuff, and like you feel like the tension of what's happening because that's what's really happening to them.
You feel the human emotion of what it would be like. Whereas now they're like, we'll shake the camera, we'll do this, we'll make the loudest screech you've ever heard, and that will make you feel like you're there. And it's like, no, it's the human emotion.
That's another thing, is that shaky cam thing. Like, I don't get that either. Of like, oh, well, that's how they're experiencing it in the movie. It's like, well, but I can't see what's happening in the movie.
Exactly.
It's like, I'm not the person. I'm watching the person. So it's like,
yeah.
I don't get that method either of the shaky cam.
I think it's just lazy. I honestly think it's filmmakers, getting to make movies now that don't have the skill to, because it takes
up, like how we were saying with lighting.
Yeah, it takes a lot of skill and a lot of time and quite frankly money. And a lot of these movies now, they love to make them as cheap as fuck, and it shows.
I guess really it's like the scenes where they had, like, they were in the living room and they had to film, the stairs or whatever. It's like, it was just pretty much the one camera that was filming the staircase, and, like, you were seeing how it all played out. And yeah, they had different shots and stuff, but it was steady. You could see what was happening in there, and what I could see what was happening was scary. Like, I was, like, nervous. Like, like, it made me feel like, oh, shit, And it's just, like... I'm watching this movie. I made the decision to sit here for 90 minutes or 2 hours to watch what's going to happen in this movie. I want to be able to actually see what's happening in the movie. So it's like, and I'll buy into it, I'll buy into the universe. I'm not sitting here like, oh, I got to experience it exactly as the people in the movie are. It's like, no, I'm sitting here watching the people. So I like that with, like, this style that this movie... It's not even a style, it's real filmmaking. Yeah. Like, I just like that, like... I still felt like I could feel what everybody was feeling with a Steadicam, It's not like I didn't understand what was happening. It's not like it confused me. It's not like I was like, why would they do that? It's like, why are they doing that for the camera? It's like, nobody thinks like that when you're watching a movie. It's like...
It's real from filmmaking, ruin, not your hokey bullshit.
Yeah, you're watching a movie. It's like...
Well, that's the thing, too, is, like I said, like, movies start now, horror movies, it's like, oh, we get the opening logo turned all gray. Warner Brothers loves to do that. Oh, just make all their logos gray. Pipe in the... It's just, like, all that shit. But it's, like, with horror, it's, like... It actually helps when you don't have the hard sell. Yeah. Like how this movie... I fucking hate horror movies now where just so you don't get bored, like, they gotta kill somebody in the opening scene. And it's like, no, like, I came to see the movie full of killing. Yeah. Don't show some bullshit killing of somebody I don't even know who the fuck they are. And then 30 minutes of people talking after that with nothing. It's like, no, it's like... This movie, we start out, we see the house, we meet all the characters. It's a little creepy because it's late at night, but it's not droning and screaming and screeching. It's like it's like when you take the time to do the slow build. Yeah. But at the same time, it's very tricky because you can't just do a slow build. Yeah. You have to do a slow build that's full of character, that's full of story beats. That even though you don't realize it at the time, it's planting little seeds that they're going to play off later. That's how you fucking do it, man. Just like...
It's that thing that I always say. You have to earn it. Earn it. The movies never earn anything anymore. Like, any endings, I never feel like it was earned. Like, by the time the movie ends, usually now, I'm just kind of sitting there and I'm like, Like, I don't really feel anything. Like, I feel like I just wasted 2 hours of my life because I didn't feel like the story went anywhere. I didn't feel like the activity that happened or went on was, like, it's just not... Yeah. It's not interesting. It just doesn't capture my attention. So it's kind of like, a lot of the time I tried going to some of them with you before, like when we were watching some of the ones that, like, I can't remember that one where the guy was, like, appearing in the pictures with the kids or whatever.
Yeah, probably Sinister or whatever.
Yeah, like, for some reason that one, like, caught my attention. Yeah. I was like, ooh, I want to see this. It looks creepy, Yeah. And then when we went, it was just kind of like, I was like, okay.
It's like, here's your cheesy bullshit.
Yeah, just kind of the jumping thing. Yeah. And I was like, okay. I went to a couple with you. I tried them, and they're not my thing. Like, I'm not, as I say, I'm not the audience for those. I mean, I guess there's people who are into those because they keep making them for some reason, but I'm not the audience for current horror movies, if you want to call them that.
Well, I mean, obviously now there's nothing coming out in theaters, but, last couple of years, I think we would be lucky if we would get sometimes 3 horror movies released in a theater. So, I mean, it's really died out and just moved to all the cable shit and TV shows and shit. Yeah. But, I know what you mean. Like, the last, whatever, 10 years, there's some good movies sprinkled here and there that I've liked, but nothing, like nothing how it used to be. Like that's really why I wanted to do, like for the podcast, we like to do a lot of like unearthed gems and cult movies that only a handful of people will remember and whatever, and people like that. But this is like one of the most successful financially box office horror movies of all time. But like I said, I just really wanted to try to inspire people to hopefully give it another spin. Put it on like because it's like one of those things is like there's some movies and this movie is very remembered. Don't get me wrong; it's not like it faded in obscurity. But there's some movies that for whatever reason they have that life where like. There's constantly new T-shirts, new action figures, new whatever, and just the type of stories that doesn't really breed well for that. But I think it is something that it would be easy if you knew this from your kid. Oh yeah, the movie with the little girl and the little TV but it's easy to kind of dismiss it as just popcorn fluff. Yeah. But it's actually really like
pretty emotional.
Yeah, it's pretty emotional. It's pretty scary. It's really, high quality cinema, so.
But I think that's what makes it strong is that it's like made to be like more like creepy than scary.
Yeah.
And it really like works up that creepy factor throughout the movie. And like, I think a good way that it does that is it kind of juggles between... It shows the people in their normal everyday life. Yeah. So like that's that thing how you're saying they earned it by having us learn who the people were. Yeah. So then like when the scary stuff starts happening, and then the scary stuff on its own is good, like the way it is. So it's like it has these two aspects of it. And then when you put them together and, like, the scary stuff is happening to these people that you just, like, started to learn to like or whatever, then that's what really makes it like, oh, man, like, you're nervous for the people. You're like...
And then also, too, it's
what's
like...
going to happen?
The drama of how they're being affected emotionally and physically, what's going on, so...
And then you got the great acting, and even the little kids are, like, really acting good, and, like, there's a lot of good aspects to this movie that I really appreciate, and it's, like... I don't know. Like, I'd actually say it's probably one of my favorite scary movies. Cause, and even then, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't even say it's scary movie, like, or like a horror movie. I mean, I guess it is, but
I think it is.
It's just kind of more like a thriller to me because, like I was saying, like it was after we saw it the first time, it was totally not what I expected it to be. Like, I thought it was gonna be like just more, I don't know, gruesome, I guess, or something. I don't know. Like, I didn't expect it to be so like. It's heartfelt. Like I didn't expect to feel like that during this, so I think it's probably one of the ones that's probably the most complete horror movies that exists, and it's really cool to know that it exists.
So, guys, thanks for going down memory lane with us and Poltergeist. Hope you guys, enjoyed listening to us talk about it, and most of all, I hope you enjoy watching the movie again. So everybody take care, keep your closet doors locked, and until next time, we'll see you soon on the Movie Graveyard.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.